want to make sure that the microphones are working well. Is everything clear? Wonderful. Good afternoon, colleagues. Thank you all for joining us today for the press briefing on the Kingdom of Bahrain's Presidency of the Security Council for the month of April 2026. His Excellency Ambassador Jamal Fares Alrowaie, Permanent Representative of the Kingdom of Bahrain, will share Bahrain's priorities and program of work for the presidency. After that, we will open the floor for questions from those in the room. The Permanent Representative is joined by Ms. Jamal Alrowaie, Deputy Permanent Representative and Political Coordinator. We'd like to note that translation to and from Arabic is available if you wish to present your questions in Arabic. And without further ado, I'll give the floor to His Excellency, Ambassador Alrowaie.
Thank you, Ibtisam, and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the press briefing for the Bahrain's presidency of the UN Security Council for the month of April. And before we begin, I would like to thank the United States Ambassador Waltz for successful presidency during the month of March, and also to his team. And before I get into the our presidency priorities, I want to draw your attention to latest developments regarding the Iranian attacks against my country, Bahrain, members of the Gulf Cooperation Council, and Jordan, that began on the 28th of February. Iran's continued to attack us since February 28 in a flagrant violation of the UN Charter and international law principles. Iran continued to breach Resolution 2817, which was presented by Bahrain on behalf of GCC countries and Jordan, and has been co-sponsored by 136 countries from the wider UN membership. This has been repeatedly stated in 9 letters sent to the SG and Bahrain national capacities, and 2 letters on behalf of the GCC countries since the aggression against us began. We continue to reserve the right of self-defense as stipulated in Article 51 in the UN Charter. Now we move into our priorities. Before focusing on our presidency for the month of April, I would like to remind of the 4 general priorities that shape Bahrain membership in the Council in general. First, consolidating peace and stability. Second, addressing traditional and emerging security threat. Third, ensuring inclusion and participation. And fourth, advancing multilateralism. You will see these 4 priorities integrated in our cross-cutting manner in the program of work and beyond. Now, if you allow me, focusing on our presidency priority for this month that addresses the current regional and international environment. First, we have, of course, the Iranian attack against a number of regional countries, including my country, Kingdom Bahrain. We consider this not a national or regional matter, but an international matter of concern, since its security and economic repercussions go beyond the scope of our regions. Iran's irresponsible behavior, if left unaddressed, can become a norm that we can see replicated in the other region in the world, and this is something nobody wants to see happen on their region. Second, we have the situation in the Middle East, including the Palestinian questions. We are closely monitoring the development in the West Bank. We also commend the work done by the Board of Peace and the National Committee for Administration in Gaza and look forward to their progress. And third, we have the recent development in Lebanon. It is important that we support Lebanon's sovereignty, security, and territorial integrity. Support the effort by the Lebanese government in this regard, and prevent Lebanon from being dragged into regional conflict that it's not part of. Now, moving to the details about our program of work that you have in your copies in front of you. So first, our 4 signature events. So tomorrow, His Excellency, Dr. Abdel Latif Al-Zayani, Minister of Foreign Affairs, will chair our first signature event, a briefing on cooperation between the United Nations and regional and sub-regional organizations. It focuses on cooperation between the Gulf Cooperation Council and the United Nations and will be attended by His Excellency Mr. Jassim Lebdewi, the Secretary General of the GCC. At the same day, it will be followed by the second signature event and afternoon briefing, also chaired by His Excellency the Foreign Minister, discuss cooperation between the League of Arab States and the United Nations. His Excellency Ahmed Abul Ghait, Secretary General of the League of Arab States, will be present. On the third signature event is the open debate on maritime security. It will be held in 27th of April, considering the latest development in the region, which I spoke about it earlier. This conversation could not be more timely nor more critical. And our fourth signature event in the quarterly open debate on the situation in the Middle East, for including the Palestinian question, which will take place on the April 28th. Second, the briefings. We start with the Middle East and the Arab world, and during the briefing on Syria, we will reiterate our support to the Syrian government's effort to reconstruction and development and encouraging cooperation from the UN and the international community to help Syria turn a new chapter for the better future. During the briefing on Libya, we will focus on the importance of political process, the unification of establishment, and limiting the impact of mercenaries. And a briefing will be held on Yemen, where we reiterate our support to unified Yemen and refer to the Gulf Initiative, the outcomes of the National Comprehensive Dialogue, and the UN Security Council Resolution, mainly 2216. Moving to Africa, our statement during the briefing of Great Lakes region will shed light on all mediation efforts that aim to achieve a peaceful settlement. We will also highlight the role of the regional mechanism, such as African Union and IGAD, and urge support for measures to address the root causes of the youth armament. During the briefing on the UNMISS in South Sudan toward the successful renewal of the mandate. In Europe, showcasing our commitment to multilateralism, we have a briefing on cooperation between the United Nations and regional and sub-regional organizations, focusing on UN-EU cooperation, and it will be held later in the month. During the briefing of UNMIC in Kosovo, we will reiterate the call for dialogue and restoring to diplomatic solution towards establishing confidence and building measures. In Latin America, we will continue to encourage progress in Colombia. During the briefing, mainly the final peace agreement and particularly regarding comprehensive rural reform efforts, reintegration, security, and protection. We voting for renewing the mandate of BINU, which is Haiti, in January 2026, and we look forward to hearing about the mission progress during the briefing this month, as well as learning more about the gang suppression force, which started its work today. And finally, under the thematic debate or thematic topics, we will have a briefing on the protection of humanitarian personnel and the United Nations and associated personnel in the armed conflict, and a briefing on the U.S. peacekeeping operation. These mandated briefings are an opportunity to reiterate our commitment to upholding regional and international peace and security, international law and international humanitarian law, as well the UN Charter. Finally, there will be 2 adoption sessions this month, which is on Libya sanctions and on UNIMS. As ever, we thank you for your positive contribution, and we look forward to working with you through the coming months.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Colleagues, now we open the floor for your questions. I will take them in order, and for the sake of time and productivity, I'll take them in batches of 3. Please introduce yourselves and your names, your media outlet, before you pose your question. We first start the corner here.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ambassador, for this press conference on behalf of the UN Correspondent Association. This is Valeria Robeco from ANSA Newswire. My question is on the resolution about the Strait of Hormuz. What are the last developments on the draft, and what concrete steps can the Security Council take realistically to prevent escalation with Iran despite the internal division? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I saw the gentleman in the black suit with the... Yes, sir.
I had the same question that Valeria asked, and I have 2 other questions for you as a representative of Bahrain. This is Namo Abdullah with Rudaw Media Network from Iraqi Kurdistan. How much damage has Bahrain suffered so far as a result of Iran's attacks? Can you give us an estimate? And how do you view the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon? Thank you.
And I'll take one more. I missed the one that came first. Maybe the lady in the middle, please. Thank you.
I'm Sylviane Zahir from Orange Le Jour, Beirut. My question is on Israel announcing plan to occupy southern Lebanon. How does the United Nations Security Council assess Israel's announced plan in relation to international law and Lebanon's territorial integrity, and what action are being considered in response?
Thank you, colleagues, and we'll give the floor to His Excellency.
شكرا لك.
Thank you very much.
بالنسبة لي
Regarding the draft resolution, which is being considered by the Security Council on the Strait of Hormuz. The draft aims primarily at ensuring maritime security in the Strait and reaching a sustainable solution to this issue. This issue is not new. We haven't been confronting this issue for a month or two. It has been an issue for more than 4 decades or even more. We recall Security Council Resolution 552 of 1984, which addressed this issue. So we cannot accept that the situation remains as is. We cannot accept economic terrorism affecting our region and the world. The whole world is being affected by the developments. So this resolution is of paramount importance, and it comes at a critical juncture. This is why we believe that this resolution aims to protect maritime security. It is one of the most fundamental principles of international law. We would reiterate anchoring the principles of not using maritime corridors and international corridor as a strategy to build pressure in conflicts. This would be a flagrant violation of international law and the rights of all countries that depend on those corridors. So there is an urgent need to address this matter. This applies to the Strait of Hormuz and any other maritime corridors around the world. This is why this draft is being discussed at the moment in the Council. We hope it would be adopted as soon as possible, God willing. Regarding the effects of the Iranian attack, which is unprovoked and unjust, against the Kingdom of Bahrain and the countries of GCC and Jordan and other countries in the region. I'll give you an example just from Bahrain. We've been subjected to 174 missiles, 391 drones. These attacks damaged infrastructure, desalination plants, oil tanks, civilian facilities, civilian infrastructure, buildings, hotels. All these facilities have been targeted, and these attacks led to significant damage. This applies to other countries of the GCC as well, and Jordan. Airports have been targeted, and civilian infrastructure has been targeted. These are clear signals. Of course, the GCC countries and the Kingdom of Bahrain have not been party to these conflicts, but they've been attacked by Iran through unprovoked, unjustified attacks. Regarding the latest figures, 186 missiles and 419 drones. I'm just focusing on Bahrain now. Of course, the figures are higher when it comes to GCC countries. For example, the UAE has been targeted by thousands of missiles, so the magnitude of the damage is significant. Civilian infrastructure in the UAE have been significantly damaged. We, of course, express our gratitude and appreciation to the air defense forces for their bravery for repelling these attacks. But of course, these attacks continue to constitute a threat and a flagrant violation of the sovereignty of the countries of the region. As I've stressed, Lebanon must be spared. It should not be dragged into this conflict. Lebanon needs considerable support. These adventures are unacceptable. They must stop to serve the interests of Lebanon. And we must support the Lebanese government in its efforts. They're making significant efforts in the field of disarmament to ensure the stability of Lebanon. So why should Lebanon be dragged into this conflict? And I believe the Council is aware of these matters, and the Council will continue to be apprised of the developments in Lebanon.
Yes, please.
Of course, we'll take 3 more this time. The gentleman in the front, please.
Thank you very much. My name is Ahmed Fathi of ATN News. Mr. President, congratulations, and wishing you the best in your stewardship of the Council during the month of April. Being the Security Council member and the President from a region and a sub-region that has been a target of Iranian attacks on the entire membership of the GCC countries, on several members of the League of Arab States countries. How do you see the signature event as a start will be able to come out with something tangible in the route to solve this crisis? No question, Article 51 is quite clear. These were not aggravated attacks, any action that Bahrain or any of the GCC did, but it was a clear Iranian aggression. With what's happening in the region, since you also represent the Arab states in the Council, we have Lebanon, we have Gaza, we have the West Bank, we have Iraq, we have, I mean, I can list the crisis all over. How can we come from the Council with a framework or a plan other than wonderful speeches and statements of condemnation that we are, frankly, we have been reached to a fatigue stage from listening to it one over and over and over again. Thank you.
The lady in the front, please.
شكرا سعادة السفير بسنة.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador Bissan Aboukwek from Al Jazeera. Just a follow-up question regarding the draft resolution submitted by you. Do you think that there is a possibility to bridge the gap, particularly that some of the Council members have made reservations regarding the language in the draft resolution, and that it will really be adopted by the Council eventually? And the other question about Lebanon, do you expect any statement or draft resolutions during your presidency regarding Lebanon, particularly in what we heard by some of the representatives yesterday regarding UNIFIL and peacekeeping forces? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Sinan from the Amargi. Given Bahrain's presidency of the Security Council this month, to what extent will Bahrain actively support and facilitate peace efforts to de-escalate the war with Iran? And what is your response to Iranian accusation that attacks against Iran have been launched from neighboring Arab countries? Thank you very much.
First of all, regarding that there were attacks launched against Iran from countries in our region. I think that GCC member states and the countries in the region have consistently tried to build bridges of peace and cooperation with the Islamic Republic of Iran. However, what we were subjected to was surprising was shocking. And we did not expect neighboring countries to act in this manner with this amount of missiles and also the premeditated preparation to attack our countries. And therefore, all the excuses that you hear or that are being used to justify Iran's attacks are invalid, and they are trying to find excuses only in the minds of Iran to attack our region. Our region was always seeking peace, development, was also talking about finding a region that is stable. I believe that the problem is Iranian and needs Iran to address it and to think of the countries in the region where we see on one side development and advancement, and on the other side we see a situation and a picture that is completely different, that is against what we aspire for, what people aspire for. I believe that the draft resolution, or the resolution, excuse me, 2817 that was adopted by the Council and the international support for this draft resolution is evidence to the false nature of these claims made by Iran. As for regional organizations and sub-regional organizations, and if there is a framework or a mechanism that can be adopted, I think this is what we are trying to do as Bahrain, to highlight the role of regional organizations and others, or sub-regional organizations. We think that this will give us space. The more consultations we have, the more we highlight the role of these organizations, the more we are able to present formulas that we can envision to find peace and stability approaches in our region, which is full of challenges. A region that suffers instability, and therefore the voice of a regional organization is important. It gives a comprehensive picture that we can build upon. The Council members' engagement in these issues is very important with these organizations, and it will create a momentum towards progress and the development of something that is tangible. So far, there is no ready idea or set idea that we have, but we hope that we will. You will give us you gave us the idea to start working on it. As for follow-up on the draft resolution and whether we can or not bridge the gap, the draft resolution requires still a lot of work. Our goal is that through this draft resolution is to find a sustainable solution, and for the resolution to be a Security Council product in a manner that it has important direct language to refrain from using this card, that is the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, that is strangulating the area. So there are ongoing communications and discussions with the Council members to bring convergence of views and to find a draft that can garner consensus so that it can be adopted soon. As for Lebanon, the Council held yesterday a briefing, an open briefing, regarding the killing of UNIFIL personnel. Discussions involved also protection of Lebanon and the condemnation of such attacks. The Council will follow up on the situation in Lebanon, and it is already doing that to help Lebanon avert and avoid the lives of innocents from the scourge of the conflict, and so that the situation does not further deteriorate.
Our press briefing session for today. His Excellency is preoccupied with matters related to the presidency. We appreciate your patience and engagement. We promise to continue our engagement with the Media Corps, and we remain available to answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.